It is time for our morning coffee. Let's see. Maybe I'll go with these cups today. Okay. Not too much and not too little. Oh, that is looking good. Jamie, it's almost time for our morning coffee with all our friends. Who wants to go have coffee with Mom and Dad? Oh, it's too hot out here. Let's just do it back inside. Come on, let's do it inside the house. Okay, white camera in action, Jamie. White camera in action. Girls, hush it up. Jamie, you have to hurry. There's people in the green room. Girls, stop it. Settle down. I'm going live now. Lights, camera, action, but let me find my teeth, make sure I'm no longer doped up or drunk. And what else? Oh, and the heat stroke. I've already taken my aspirin for my heat stroke. Lord, Jamie.
Say good morning.
Good morning, folks. Lester and Jamie here. And I think that I've checked off all of the boxes of what not to do before I go live. I'm joking. If you don't know where I'm coming from with that, yesterday, Lord.
Yesterday, Lester actually scared the heck out of me, and he's laughing about it right now because he can.
Well, go ahead.
He went live at the JL Ranch. It was very hot outside. He had been working all morning. And then he called me. I didn't watch the live. I was busy working. He called me and said, everyone's saying that my speech is slurred, and I'm listening to it, and I don't hear it. I don't know what they're talking about.
I couldn't hear anything different. I don't know what you all were saying. I couldn't for the life of me.
I hang up with him, and I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, my God, what are you? It was bad. It was really bad. And if he's not hearing it, that means that there's something wrong. So I'm like, I call back like after the first, I watched it on both platforms, like the first sentence, and I called him back, and I'm like, I'm demanding that he talk to me, and he's like, I'm busy, and I'm like, asking questions.
I didn't say I'm busy like the voice was coming out from the
no. So I'm asking him questions to invoke different words that he said during that time, but also to make him think about the answers, because I'm an hour away, and I genuinely think that he has had a stroke because of what that video sounded like. And it scared me because the only other time that I heard him sound like that was he made a video working on the lawnmower out here. And he says like, hey, folks, Lester here. And that was the only time in my life that I actually heard him slur like that, which I know he was sweaty and hot. So I'm thinking like he's had a heat stroke.
I'm crying now. You got me crying. I've laughed so hard in building this morning's video that I'm crying. So just to answer all of your questions and to stop all of the nonsense, these are my real teeth, y'all. As jacked up and as cracked. If I was going to buy dentures, I would buy a really nice set of white, shiny, pretty teeth, not all this over here, okay? But these are my real teeth. So for all of the folks in the comments who kept saying, he probably has his teeth out. His teeth are probably still in the cup beside the bed. Okay, guys, you can stop all of that. As of now, I still have all of my own teeth, okay? Secondly,
I don't.
Secondly, I would never go live if I were, I have had a few on occasion, but I would never go live during that time. I don't smoke or get high. Never have. What else? And the heat stroke. I guess that's possible with anybody, but no, I was fine. I believe what happened. And I'm just trying to guess, is that because of the sweat in my pocket and just all over me, possibly, or maybe it's something with the software, possibly something came into my phone mic and just kind of distorted or whatever and made it sound a little fuzzy, a little enunciated. I don't even know what you all were hearing, but everything was fine. I just felt horrible that I went through a very long, probably 45, 50-minute live, and I talked about some really deep, deep things. And no one heard a darn word I said. They could only focus on me having a stroke.
But they weren't making fun of you. No one was mean. It literally was.
Oh, there were some that were being mean.
Oh, well, I didn't see any mean things. I saw concern, and I too was legitimately concerned. Like,
there were
sit
people.
down
There were
and
people
don't
who thought
drive
I was
and-
still in babysitter mode because I'd watched Bree's kids, Cash and Carter, the day before, and there were people who thought I was still talking in my baby voice.
To me, it sounded like like you had dental work, like you were numb and
Oh, there were
to
a lot of
form
those people
things.
too. Like, did I just get back from the dentist?
It's the strangest thing ever. But on the phone, when I was talking to him, like immediately afterwards, he sounded normal.
Oh
So
my gosh.
he cooled off, I guess. I
was
don't
so
know.
embarrassed. I almost came back and deleted the entire live. But the more comments that I read, the funnier it got. And then I was like, well, Jamie, you know what? It's stirring some controversy. It's brewing up some comments. So we'll just keep it going. Which is why this morning, when I started this morning's live, I purposely tried to sound the way you all told me I sounded yesterday. Let me replay it one more time for those who just joined. I thought this was funny. It is time for our morning coffee. Let's see. That's my
Maybe I'll
voice.
go with these cups today. Okay.
I'm not eating those cheesecakes yet.
Please, Jamie.
Not
Those-
too much and not too little.
We'll
Oh,
talk
we're
about
out of
that.
milk.
We have no milk.
That's why.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is looking good. Jamie, it's almost time for our morning coffee
Our morning
with our
coffee
friends.
with our friends.
Who wants to go have coffee with mom and dad? Oh, it's too hot out here. Let's just do it back inside. Come on. Let's do it inside the house. Okay. White camera in action, Jamie.
White's camera.
White camera in action.
All right, enough of that.
Girls, hush it up. Jamie, you have to hurry. There's people in the green room.
Okay, I'll stop. I will stop. Whew. Good morning, folks. Lester and Jamie here, and everything is fine. And I am so embarrassed about whatever happened yesterday, but I can promise you it was not from the 5 things you all were accusing me of, the horrible, horrible things you were accusing me of. Oh, and then someone thought I was just having some fun, pulling their legs, stirring the pot, making fun of.
No, I knew that he wasn't conscious of it because it was very specific. It was not like what you just heard with the fake. It was very specific consonants and it was wild.
Well, listen, we had men over. We were getting some work done at the JL, working on that concrete. I had been out several hours doing things with the animals and doing my own thing while they work, but I wasn't overly heated. It was noon, so it's heat of the day. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Why are you looking at me like
You're
doing it again? You're doing it
No.
again. I'm like, oh shit.
No, you were
Oh,
moving your
crap.
hands
Oh,
and I
no.
didn't know what
What?
you were grabbing. That's all.
Now you got me paranoid. Now I am so darn paranoid that I'm going to start slurring my words.
He sent me a text that said my career's over.
My video days are over.
Yeah.
I sent that exact same message to all of the guys.
I'm one of the guys now. They get the same messages I do.
Well, this one in particular, because I'm like, hey, I guess I'm done with social media. And I told Jamie, I am your new cameraman. No longer will you have to ever go out and video with one hand. I'm just going to follow you around daily with my camera. So I will still video. I'm just not going to say a darn word. You're just going to be able to say it and do it all. And I'll just be the video guy.
There is no way on earth that Lester Eugene Morrow Jr.
No.
could remain silent for an entire video.
If
There
So
is nothing.
I'll have to find out which words I can say correctly and not.
He would have a whiteboard out there. He would literally
Play music. I'll play music.
He would play music. He would be doing charades. That would be funny to challenge you to a silent video with no music.
Well, I could do what these.
But to still make people understand what you're trying to tell.
Oh, Lord.
That would be a hilarious challenge.
So hold on. A silent film.
A silent film where you are still trying to articulate a story.
You know what, though? The problem is, as much as it may annoy a lot of people, there are also some folks that enjoy my dialogue. The reason I say that is because in some of those occasional videos where I do play a lot of music, and because of the wind noise or whatever, I'm just trying to save people. People will say sometimes, I miss your talking. I skip past the music part. I'd rather have you talk. I'm like, oh, I can't win here. Can't win.
I challenge you to that.
Well,
to a silent video where you have to find other ways that are not closed caption across the bottom. You cannot use like type and tell the story. Other ways, you can write it.
I have an idea.
You can charades it.
So the old, was it Laurel and Hardy, or who was that fella who did all those black and white films, and everything was high speed.
Charlie Chapman.
Yeah.
Okay, you can use music because that would be really funny. But I was actually thinking of like even Mr. Bean.
Can I stop now?
You know about Mr. Bean?
Can I stop now?
Yes.
You get where I was trying to go
Yes.
in the old Charlie Chaplin movies. Trixie's so excited to dance with Daddy.
Yeah.
She happy to dance.
She was like, "Oh, I'm in. I'm in."
I'll make them videos with you. Me and you're gonna go to Broadway, Daddy. Trixie thinks we're gonna go on the take our show on the road.
I think that we should challenge everyone on Morrow Hill to a silent video.
So a Charlie Chaplin style silent video.
It could be Mr.
sped
Bean,
up with
Mr.
music.
Bean style. It could be whatever, but a silent video. But you're still trying to get it across.
So I already have that music on my phone. That tune I was just now humming. And I do that sometimes when I speed things through. Huh.
I challenge you.
So what is everyone saying here? I can't even read the comments. But
It would be neat to see
So,
everybody
challenge
everybody on Morrow Hill to it.
to at least an 8-minute, so it's still eligible for YouTube.
Yeah.
An 8-minute silent video
Yeah.
with music is okay.
Music is okay, but no closed caption across the bottom of your edit.
Well, hold on. I think that we can do some captions like titling, because even the Charlie Chaplin stuff was like saying, because he would never talk.
But I want you to do it in person in your video. So either write it on paper or write it on.
Hold on. I have to feed the donkeys. Oh no, Pig Trudy, but I'm not saying it. The words will pop up. Oh no, Pig Trudy.
Come on, we'll buy everybody a whiteboard and say this is you can
Hush it up, Nate.
I think it'll be fun.
No, it would be fun, but no one would watch. No one would watch. Those are the kind of videos that select people would still watch because they just think it, they look for the humor and stuff that we do.
Well, I think that if we
There would be
hyped it up enough that people would watch, and it's a challenge. It's a creator challenge. Think about that. And then perhaps we could challenge all of our fellow creators as well, not just Morrow Hill.
No one ever takes us up on challenges. Maybe Jason would. No one else does challenges though.
I'm going to call it the silent challenge.
The silent challenge, the sound of silence. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll do it. I don't know what day we'll do it on. I guess we'll just let everyone know and see what they all say. Hey, speaking of Jason, if you just keep talking for a couple of seconds here, I saw 2 packages that showed up this week, and I think they both come from
Oh my gosh.
the Cog Hill.
We have to put together a package then. We have to find some things to send
Well, we
them.
offer friendship, Jamie. We offer friendship. They offer coffee. Okay.
I'm going to send them jelly and pickles.
I'm playing. That sounds horrible.
You're so terrible.
We offer friendship. They offer coffee. for our friendship.
While you're looking for those packages,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to tell people what I found you the other day at the store because it's sitting here on the counter.
Oh, well, I was only concerned because they make stuff. So in case y'all don't know, there's a new trend. I don't know. There's enough stuff on TV and ads that I watch this. There's a new trend, and it's probably a good thing. You might agree, but there are different body sprays. I'll call them body sprays that are made to go on your underarms, armpits, feet, and around your middles. They go around your middles. And yes. There's commercials there's ads. And
that's the ads that show up when you're watching.
Well, you know what? Just show off your product.
Hold on a second. Those ads are targeted. That means that you talked about it or searched it. So why are they showing up, Lester?
So I would no. No.
Why are you stumbling right now, Lester, and turning red?
I'm gonna go out and find them packages from Jason from Cog Hill. Listen, I don't know, but there are sprays now that they're using. It's like a threefer. So
threefer.
What I'm saying is, there's no longer a deodorant spray, then a powder for your feet, then a whatever people use in their middles. There's a thing for men now. Where men can shh and be done. So I don't know.
Wait, do people do that?
I don't know.
Well, why is it showing up on your ads?
I don't know.
It's not showing up on my ads.
I'm going to go fill our coffee, and I'm going to.
I still have plenty left. You can just say it's staying out here for 5 more minutes.
I'm going for the packages and a box cutter.
Okay, so we have this store called Ollie's, and it's kind of like a treasure hunt. It's like a it's not an aftermarket. It's like an after season store, and it's stuff, not clothes. Kind of like Ross, but way further down the line. And every once in a while, it's like my own little guilty pleasure to step into Ollie's. And this week I had 30 extra minutes in my life. So I went into this store, and they have the most amazing book collection. And to be honest, I did buy some really neat books because I still like to touch books, and it's cheap. That book was $4.99. So also they have like a personal hygiene section. So they have soap, shampoo, lotions, all this other stuff. And I'm walking down that aisle because I needed some shampoo, and it's the cheapest place to get shampoo. And I came across this gem right here. Never in my life have I seen bald care, and it's Old Spice. So I brought it home, and Lester's like, what am I going to use that for? I have hair now. You still have to care for your bald head underneath.
Let's try some live.
It's $1.99. How cute is that?
Could you massage it in?
Wait, isn't it soap? Oh no, it's moisturizer with sunscreen. Did you know that?
I didn't, but let's go ahead and try it out. We're going to try it out live. I'll bend down a little bit. I feel like one of them cartoon characters where I had the mean face.
It smells good.
Look, this is my Donald Trump mean look. That feels good.
It actually smells good and is very smooth.
I would actually allow you to do that every morning if you wanted to.
Oh, you would allow me?
Yes, that actually feels really good.
I would allow you to do this to my feet every morning.
I
trade off.
No. All right. Thank you. Now that we're going overboard.
This actually is really good.
So now I am conditioned.
Scout moisturizer with SPF 25 moisturizes, mattifies. What does that mean?
Mattifies
and protects your dome. It literally says protects your dome right there.
We're being told to get a room. Get a room.
Oh, well, okay. Sorry.
Lester does a Carter face perfect. Oh, I love that little girl.
We had so much fun with the kids. My intention of that day was to make a video about Storm the horse.
Yeah.
But the kids stole the show. I have so much genuine fun with Carter and Cash. And the fact that, so Carter didn't like me at all for the first 2 years of her life. And the fact that Cash
Carter
has,
didn't like anybody for the
It's true.
first 2 years of her life.
but now Carter is like all about it. But Cash has liked me since the beginning. And the fact that he gets excited to come see us, and they both do, but that Cash is like super pumped to come see us and like talks about it for days. That makes my heart just so warm. Like, and I just think that they're hilarious. I made another video I have not posted yet of Carter playing the mail lady, and it is the funniest thing. And I all of those moments were just like highlights of my week.
It was fun. I'll tell you what, though, I'm still under the mindset of babysitting for 30 minutes to an hour is fun and fine.
Yeah.
Anybody can take those kids for a ride on the side-by-side or take them a walk or do little things here and there. But trying to entertain them for an extended period of time when they're cranky and when they're hungry. And
Lester only has a 30-minute window for those things.
I know.
All the fun wears out then.
We know that Ellie and Megan are going to officially get married in December.
Have they announced that yet?
I don't know. Jamie, sheesh. Whoops. Guys, please don't say a word. And then we suspect that at some point Xander and Kendra will also be getting married in the next. But you know what that means? So that means that grandkids are going to be the next step. Grandkids will follow. And that means that not only will we be taken care of.
We didn't know.
Huh?
We didn't know.
Guys, please don't say anything. Act surprised. Please don't say anything. Do not get me in trouble with my own son and daughter-in-law, please. Whoops. Dang it, Jamie. Anyway. Oh, boy. I've done it now. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let me get that dog in. Dang it.
Will you refill my coffee too?
Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, I'm in trouble.
Anyway, so we know that at some point in time, grandkids will come into our lives. I'm not ready for that yet.
No.
I'm enjoying the niece-nephew situation because it's very brief. I forgot how much it wears you out, though, to be really, like Lester said, that 30 minutes to an hour is really fun. But we have both realized that we could never do littles all the time. Like it would really wear us out. Like I think about your mom and how and your dad, how they always have little kids around.
Well,
and I know that they love it, but I feel tired afterwards.
So don't let anybody fool you with the paw part. Now, yes, my mom does babysit, and my mom is with kids, any of the grandkids or great grandkids or great grandkids all the time. Now, my dad will do like every other video creator. He'll grab that camera when it's his turn to make it appear as though he's like all day with kids. But my dad absolutely will run off. And that's mom's biggest fight with my dad is that he runs off. My dad will grab the dog. What's his dog? His new little favorite little guy? Woody. My dad will grab his little dog, maybe a goat, and off he'll go and be gone the entire day. And
but they're not leaving the hill.
No, with this camera.
They're just out and about on the hill.
Yeah, my dad has so many places to go. And my mom is the one who's trapped. And but no, dad will absolutely grab that camera and make it appear as though he does all this babysitting. Now, he does cook for Lex every morning.
I was going to say, hold on. I have to give your dad a little bit more credit because there are times where your mom had to run somewhere and Pawpaw has Coda. Pawpaw has Coda a lot. Yeah. I will say that. And I have seen Lex and Connor they love to go over there when Gigi's there. But when Gigi's gone, it suddenly becomes like a man fest.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just want to hang out with Pawpaw. I guess that there's probably special food and special.
Well, my dad cooks for him. So my dad enjoys playing that role of waking up and then doing the bacon and the eggs and the biscuits and all those kind of things. And so the boys love waking up to because let's just face it, over here we have frozen waffles that they put in the toaster themselves.
I put them in the toaster. I make them bacon and waffles whenever they wake up at noon.
Hold on, I'm not making fun of you, and this is not about Jamie. I'm not putting you down, but we have frozen waffles and pre-cooked bacon that they can just microwave. So, but my dad actually does the old sizzle bacon where it's sitting there sizzling, and you could smell it all around the house and on all of your clothes. But no, it's a wonderful memory. And see, the funny thing is, I have those exact same memories of
That's
my
what I,
grandma
that's what I
and
think is so
grandpa.
special.
And I tell Ellie and Lex all the time. I mean, and listen, I don't mind beating around the bush on this. I remind them I'm like, your grandparents, your Gigi and Pawpaw, they're not going to be here forever. They're not. So spend time with them. Do the events. Do things that they want to do. Appreciate the things. And sometimes kids, I don't think they really understand that concept until maybe they're too late, maybe.
Mhm.
But I wish I would have soaked up even more time with my grandparents, because whenever it's time, it's time. And then all these memories come flooding back. But at that point, it's kind of too late to say thank you. One thing that my grandmother did for me, this is my nanny, this is my dad's mom, is that she was a custodian. She was probably 20 years younger than my grandpa. Did you know that?
No.
So he passed away, and her being a much younger woman than him, she lived on another 25 or 30 years.
I had no idea.
Yes, she lived on many, many, many years past my grandpa passing.
How old were you when old Pops died?
Probably 15.
I didn't know that.
And then I was in my 30s when the nanny died.
I had no idea.
Yes, but listen, this is that's not the part of the story that I was trying to get to. But most women will outlive a man, but it's especially hard when the man is already got 10 or 15 years on you. I tell Jamie all the time, I'm going to die at some point and leave you alone for a long time. So you're going to have to think about that really long and hard while you're still young and pretty, if you really want to go through that, or if you're going to go out and meet a much younger man, so y'all can die at the same time.
Oh my God. No.
But the
No
point of the
comment.
story was, Nanny went to work as a custodian of an elementary school right there in our hometown of Cleveland. And she worked as a custodian well past her retirement day. She could have retired, but she kept working because it was her goal to put me through college. And Nanny, so you guys probably don't know this, but I was the first Morrow to get a college degree. And I owe that to my nanny, because she did. She struggled as a custodian driving. Now, listen, if you don't know what kind of custodial work it is in a school, the hardest thing Nanny would have to do is go to the cafeteria twice a day, after breakfast and then after lunch. And they have these long tables that fold up in the middle. Do you know about this?
Mhm.
There's probably 40. There's probably 40 seats in this one long table. They're on wheels. But you have to go to the middle, unlock it, and then lift. Imagine that lift on a woman my grandmother's age, probably 70, 80 years old, lifting and pushing. That is a hell of a motion.
Yeah.
That hurts my shoulder with no weight. And imagine my grandmother doing that. And she would come home and talk about that was the hardest part of her job. She would sweep, she could mop, she'd go in and clean the bathrooms and change out the trash cans and do all the things she had to do. But doing that cafeteria work that morning and afternoon just really took a beat down on her. And she did that for years after she could have retired, until I finished college. And so it was a really beautiful thing that Nanny did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now my dad also finished college, but what my dad did was went to like night classes. So he was working and going to school, on occasion here and there. And my dad finally got his college degree and began to teach also, which is funny. And then Sister Tina got a college degree. And I do believe we are the only ones who actually went and got college degrees. Dan went to school, but him and Lou met up, and had a little Jacob, and his having a baby days was him having a baby ended his college career because he had to go to work at that point. And Dan went to work. Kim always wanted to be a mom. Kim just wanted to be a mom, and Kim has always been a good mom. But that's what Kim has always aspired to be, was a mom. Just like my mom. My mom only wanted to be a mom. She never had desires to be a hairdresser or a tattoo artist or whatever people do. You know, people aspire for things. My mom only wanted to be a mom, which is an amazing and hard career. I am not
challenging job.
Yeah, I'm not at all trying to put that down. But it's one of the hardest careers, I would think, being a mom and a full-time mom, because you don't get breaks when you're a full-time mom.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where all that came from. Talking about Cash and Carter, maybe, and then Nanny. But no, what I was saying was, is that I try to encourage Ellie and Lex to spend all the time they can with Gigi and Pawpaw, because they're not going to be here forever, y'all. We know that. So
I agree. I think it one of the things, even when we lived in Plum Grove, one of the neatest things from day one was on Saturday mornings when Lex was there, he got up to eat breakfast and he would go to Pawpaw's to eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Not just, it's not just because he's staying there. It was just the tradition that you created.
When he was a baby, I would walk him down. He'd get on my shoulders, the way you carry your kids when they're little, and I'd pop him up and he'd sit right here. I'd hold his little legs and I would walk him down. As he got a little bit older, we bought him a little electric Jeep, the little kind you find at Walmart, a little battery powered, and he could jump in his little Jeep and he would drive down. And then as he got even older than that, he would start walking. And
well, he had a 4-wheeler when I got here.
He had
a little plug-in 4-wheeler.
The little plug-in 4-wheeler, yes.
And Connor would ride on the back, and Chia would go with him.
They would.
And it was just really sweet to watch this, this evolution of Lex and Connor growing up or whatever, but also because on Saturday mornings they would go down and do that.
That was their thing.
And then the other thing we used to do on most Saturday morning, well, I wouldn't say most, at least once a month, was we would take the boys to go get haircuts, if you remember.
Oh yeah, right there in Splendor, right there.
And one of the biggest memories that I have is that at the end there was a gumball machine there, and we would always have to go with quarters. And the game was to guess what color you thought that you would get as you put your quarter in, and if you were right, then you got the extra quarter. So it was just like these sweet little traditions that I don't know if Lex and Connor even remember that part of it, but that for me was like some of the most heartwarming times. It wasn't this big event of we're going to go spend all this money and go play video games all day or anything like that. It was the 25-cent gumball game that they would jump up and down and be excited for. That was like.
That's the only reason they wanted to go get a haircut.
Yes, exactly. Now you can't. I mean, I don't know who cuts Connor's hair or whatever, but I know Lex has like special haircuts that he wants to get by special people. So his mom handles all of those things now. But how times change.
Right now, yeah. Lex used to do a little high and tight. They would shave it on the sides, leave a little bit of poof on top. But no, Lex and Connor absolutely enjoy Pawpaw's breakfast, and my dad loves cooking for them. So that will always be a memory that Lex will have.
And it's just like you said, though, that's what you used to go eat at your pops.
Yep.
And Lester talks about biscuits in the cast iron skillet that he would make. Did he make bacon and biscuits as like your dad, or was it biscuits?
It really wasn't biscuits. I mean, it wasn't bacon. It was always biscuits, but they had syrup. So,
yeah, that's right. You did say that.
And they had good butter they would make themselves. He would churn his own butter. So I really enjoyed his biscuits and his butter. There was one funny story about my grandpa that I'll tell you that Jamie's going to probably be grossed out about, and so will you.
Oh, no. I know this story.
You know the story?
I know the story.
So my grandfather, they lived in a big old house, y'all, that was built it was built to last. I mean, this thing was built, I'm going to guess and probably say in the late 1800s, the turn of the century, the other century, not this past one, the other one. And it had been moved to their location. All right. It was built by his dad right there in the exact same location as our house at the sanctuary. You didn't know any of this, did you?
No.
So now the house is burnt down, but let me tell you this story. So right there where the sanctuary is at, where Ellie and Megan live, on that hill, which is the highest hill off the road, that's where my great grandpa built this big house. Two-story home. He built it off the ground on blocks, but on pillars in those days. Big, it's like railroad ties, big old cross ties, big old beams. And they took that house after they passed, and Nanny and Pops wanted it closer to the road. They took it and they had a company come out. I don't know how they would have done this back in these days. And they moved that big house down there to where Sister Kim's house is at right now. Yes, you didn't know that, did you?
No.
My Nanny and Pawpaw lived in that home for years and years and years. But whenever they both passed, my grandpa passed first, then my Nanny passed. Then the house was given to, you guys probably don't even know this lady, but an aunt of mine named Debbie. Debbie was raised by Nanny and Pops, and she was kind of like their other daughter, even though she wasn't a daughter, she was a granddaughter. Whereas Mom and Dad, or Dad, Uncle Raleigh, Aunt Sissy all went off and did their thing. Debbie stayed there with Nanny, and she was given the house. Well, Debbie got married, did not need the house, didn't want the house, and so she sold it to Sister Kim. Sister Kim at the time was living in a small home who she'd outgrown with her children. So Sister Kim made payment arrangements with Debbie and bought the big house. The big house did catch on fire and burn down several years after Kim had been living there, which is why Kim now lives how she lives and where she lives. But there is a whole lot of history in that home, in that house.
I wish y'all had pictures of it.
Wow, don't we all? But don't forget that with house fires and with flooding, and we've lost so many pictures and things that you wish you would have had some kind of a backup system. But
they didn't make it then,
Yeah.
Like I think about that often. I have a big old tote of pictures upstairs, and I think I should take the time to put all of those in, take pictures of them and catalog them somehow for everyone. But boy, I haven't found that time yet.
Well, what I think is really neat is knowing that even back that many years ago, which, like I said, we're talking 1890s, 1900. Guys, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact years. My dad probably would. But even then, to know that it was possible to build a home that big. Oh, there was no ACs in the house, no air conditioners, obviously.
Yeah.
What they had up in the attic, though, was a big fan.
Yeah.
And you'd walk by, they had a lever, and you would pull that lever down, and that fan would turn on, and these vents would open. So it would suck. It would not push air. It would pull air. And all of a sudden, if you're sitting beside a window, all of a sudden you could feel this rush of air come past you.
An attic fan.
It's an attic fan. And it would pull it through the entire house. And so every bed was always in front of a window so that you could sleep with the airflow over the top of you.
And it worked. It was amazing. We had an attic fan as well. And my grandparents rarely ran their AC because of the attic fan. The attic fans really were amazing, especially if you turned them on at night, sucked all the cool air in. Oh, yeah. Really good.
Well, that was the only form of AC they had back in those days. But I guess the house was built pretty solid. And so you didn't really need, I don't guess.
So was it like.
And they were conditioned to living in those kind of conditions. Because, if you think about it now, if you turn on an attic fan, you're not only pulling in the warm air from outside, but also the humidity from outside. Our ACs today are the condensation, they have all these things to help rid the air, to make it a very clean and fresh air. It's not a humid, muggy air.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, those days had to have been filled with muggy air being pulled through your house.
For sure, yeah.
But it was airflow.
Yeah, airflow, I think, probably helps it. So I have a question. Was that house a log home, or was it like sided?
It was a wood sided home.
Okay.
But whenever they moved it, like I said, they had these huge planks on the bottom, because when the house burnt down, some of the only things that survived from that fire were those huge planks that were underneath it, and some of the planks that was used inside of the home that were so big and so old. They did survive it, but it was a 2-story home.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew that Kim had a house burned down and that it was Nanny's, but I didn't know that it started originally where our house was.
Yep.
And then.
Yep. Yeah.
So is that why is that their original well then?
No.
No. Okay.
No, they would not have had a well. They would have had the old, that kind of a well. think about the era. They
Yeah.
would not have had running water like we have.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they had I didn't know if that was dug then and you put a pump in it or
No,
something
no,
like
no,
that.
no. So whenever I built my yard there, this would have been sheesh. I don't even know the year, Jamie, but no, we had to put a well in and
septic.
and all of those things. Yeah,
Interesting.
it is. There's a really neat history there.
I love that. My favorite is old stories and nostalgia. And oh, you went to get packages. I'm so sorry.
Well,
we got off track here.
I'm just watching the time, and I don't want to go past the hour. But we do have a couple of packages. But let's hear an old story of yours first, to be fair, because you heard.
No. They've heard plenty of my old stories. I don't want to talk about me today. You do that.
You don't want to tell an old story. You're about to tell one.
I was not about to tell one. I was just saying, like, I love to hear old stories, especially about things that I didn't know about. You know, part of your history. I don't have a story to tell.
Yeah. So I'll say one last thing about it is that there in my yard, when I first began to start mowing it and, digging my flower beds and planting my trees, I would dig up so many things. I would dig up I call them artifacts. They're not really artifacts, but they are things from a different generation. And I think the neatest things that I would dig up were these glass bottles. But I don't mean glass like we use today.
Mm-mm.
A medicine bottle, for example, would be small, and the glass it was the thickest glass I've ever seen. I don't know how they made glass so darn thick. And I guess the medicine couldn't be clear, so the glass was always colored, like either brown or green. And then there was never a cap, so it was a cork. They still used corks in those days. So, and then I think to myself, wait, how did this get out here in the yard? How did I sit and dig up this medicine bottle here in the yard? Like, how did it get out of where the house is at into the yard?
I have found one at the sanctuary and had so many questions about it out in the pasture whenever we were doing something. I don't know if we were putting an electric line or something where we had to dig. And I found this little bottle and it was blue, like cobalt blue glass. And I'm like, this is nothing that Lester Morrow would have purchased, as a collector's item. And anyway, I put it on the windowsill inside the barndominium. And now I'm curious if it's still there. So it's sitting there. I'll have to check out next time we go.
But no, and so I think to myself, so wait, how can I keep finding all of these things? Not to mention old hinges and bolts and old nails. They didn't have screws in those days. Everything was nailed, y'all. But I think to myself, okay, I know there was a fire in the house, but the house was over there at this point. So how do all of these things get out in the pastures? And then I think to myself, did they have a burn pile in those days?
Probably.
Would the old timers have had a burn pile? Yeah. And I just ran across an old burn pile where he would burn all of their stuff, including glass bottles. And
I'm sure
because there were no trash pickups. So I'm guessing folks out in the country just burnt.
Well, they didn't have nearly as much trash as we have today either. Think about that, because packaging was much different. But, and they would absolutely repurpose, reuse, save everything. Like it was a much different lifetime. They didn't have waste like we do today.
So I much ran across old burn piles then.
Or a flood. So think about that too, of what could have washed up during any floods.
Who knows if they had floods during their time that we never knew about. I mean, recorded history, I don't know when it started, but who knows what kind of floods may come across those pastures.
Yeah.
And that might be, I don't even know this, that might be why Nanny and Pop moved.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is I'm wondering if that was the reason that they decided to move it, because we know that Sister Kim's hasn't flooded during Harvey or this last flood. So if that's why, obviously it was built, as you mentioned, on stilts. So they knew that things were possible and probably thought that they got it out of everything that they could. But there wasn't sheetrock during those days.
No sheetrock.
So I'm so intrigued. I wish it was still here for us to see, or at least pictures.
Or if we had just asked those questions when we had a chance to, and we never did.
Well, I tell you that when I sit down with my grandmas now and my grandpa, I ask more questions than I ever have in my life because I'm so intrigued. And I talk about this on Time Out Tuesday quite often because I just have so many questions of how, and like for your great grandparents, where did they grocery shop at all, or did they just grow it all and that's what they had? And where did they go to get the things that they needed? Did they have a car? You know, like all of those questions ran through my head because those were very tough times.
Well, I never knew my great grandparents. Only my grandma's mom. Her name was, we call her Ma. I don't even know her first name, Jamie.
Seriously?
I don't know her first name. And but whenever I was old enough to remember her, she was already past the age of being able to communicate with us. She was pretty much just kind of laid up, and she didn't talk a lot. But I know that my grandpa would go out there and butcher a hog. They would butcher a cow. They would butcher. And it was very commonplace to see my grandpa, out there butchering. So when you say where they get their groceries from, I'm pretty sure they follow the same tradition that his dad did. When the meat supply starts getting low, you go out there and butcher a hog.
But most of the people still went to like a general store to get like flour, sugar, and all of those staples.
Yeah, you had to have those staples.
And material to make their clothes, or if they were wealthy enough to be able to go buy clothes. Like there were things like that. And that's during a very like volatile time when it comes to money and resources and how things had to be close. And like, I don't know. I have so much intrigue. I've always said that I'm born in the wrong era because all of my curiosities are and all of my interests are during that era of like, we have so many things at our fingertips today.
Well, my grandpa had an actual job. He would drive to Baytown every day, which I know I'm giving you all towns that you guys are not familiar with, but Baytown is right along the Houston Ship Channel. And he worked at an oil refinery, Exxon. And so during World War II, he was not drafted, not because he was married, not because he had kids, because he worked at an oil refinery. And they didn't draft him, which is crazy because, during a draft, they take all 19 to 26-year-olds, whatever they do. And my grandpa, I don't want to say avoided the draft because I'm sure that in those days, any man who wants to fight can go fight, especially if you had a call. The call of duty, I think with those generations were a lot stronger than the call of duty of today, the young men of today.
Well, think about that for a second, because today we have so much visual into what is and some of the realities and some of the not and the fears and all the things that go with it. During that time, it was all stories. You couldn't see anything firsthand. So there probably was a lot of intrigue around that too.
Well, also they said on the radio that with that horn that would come out and they'd all listen.
Seriously?
No. That's
I'm like,
on TV, they said, the family on the TV shows that we remember that all the family sitting around every night listening to that radio broadcast. That's the era I imagine they sat there. So they would go hear Orson Welles when their world's being attacked by aliens. That story where everyone went crazy. Yeah. There was no TV, but they could all only hear what was going on around the country with aliens attacking. Everyone went.
My mom didn't have TV until she was in almost graduated grade school. Like they didn't have TV.
Wow.
All they had was radio.
Yeah.
So like she remembers a time where also that the TV went off at midnight, and it would just go to a snowy screen.
Yeah. Or do you remember the days whenever TV would go off and it would play the national anthem all night? No, that was in the early morning. They played national anthem. Every morning, like around 4 a.m, they would play the national anthem. Those are the good old days. And at night, it was a rainbow.
Yeah, it could be a rainbow. Yeah, I remember that.
Wow. No, so my grandfather did not get drafted because of the work that he did. He was needed there at the oil refinery. So talk about busy, boy. So his World War II experience was working at the oil refineries, and they're in Baytown. And then my other grandpa did get drafted into the Navy. And that's my mom's dad, Pops.
Wow.
So, yeah, both of those guys. Anyway, so, hey, we got a couple of packages. And I've noticed that we have one from Cog Hill and one comes from Revival Coffee Company. Now, if you don't know this, Cog Hill Coffee actually comes from Revival Coffee Company. This place is owned by Ryan. This is Ryan's LLC, his company, his business.
I like this package right here.
Why?
Menopause makes me fragile.
Menopause?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Menopause makes me fragile. You just
did mess that up.
You did something to our computer.
Here, just click comments right there.
Okay, so menopause. That's
It literally
probably.
says menopause makes me fresh.
Well, here we go again. That's gonna be something from Ryan. So they're.
I love. I've never met Ryan or spoken to Ryan or messaged with Ryan, but I love Ryan for the record.
I do too. I don't know why I've become his laughing stock though. Why do I have to be
That's
the guy?
my favorite part about Ryan.
So this here comes from Cog Hill. This is something from Cog Hill. I'm opening it up out of the box. You want to open that part?
No. I was
Just
gonna,
gonna
I was
jump
gonna
out and
help
bite you?
No, I was gonna help you.
There's a bubble wrap. Who wants to guess what's in this?
Oh, I smell it.
From Cog Hill.
I smell it.
Jamie can smell it.
Oh, it smells terrific.
Some are saying coffee mugs. Some are saying coffee. A lot of coffee mugs. Oh, someone said it's a peach candle. Well, guess what?
It smells terrific.
It does smell good. It is a scented candle. And it says Cog Hill Candles. And I can't read the small. Is that
It says handmade in Alabama for Cog Hill Farms.
There we go.
Oh my God.
That's wonderful. Now you can peel off that top layer to make it smell even stronger,
no,
I bet.
you can't until you're ready to light it.
Oh, until you're ready to light it. Thank you very much, Cog Hill, for the candle.
I told you, now we got to come up with something cool.
All we have are t-shirts and hats. Jamie, ain't nothing cool
Maybe
about...
we need to add candles to our repertoire.
No. I've already promised Jason. This was a promise made amongst friends that I would not copy his business ideas. He's the one that come up with the coffee idea, so he deserves every coffee sale. We even encourage you guys, if you want to buy some good coffee from good people, go to Cog Hill Farms and order from Cog Hill.
Agreed.
And now, if you want a scented candle, go to Cog Hill.
If you want a peach candle, go, because that is fabulous.
The only idea I ever came up with that no one thought was a great idea, but would have been hilarious, is that little pitcher that goes inside of your cup on the very bottom. So when you're drinking your coffee, you can look down, and as you get low enough, you can see Lester's face looking at you. That was the idea that I wanted to include, that you could buy the insert for your coffee cup of Lester's face, Jamie's face. Think about how cool that would be. And that was my idea. You can have the coffee, Jason.
I don't want anybody to look that like to like me be staring in their eyes like this, like in the bottom of their coffee cup. Like,
no, picture that though. It would be
that's like peep hatting someone.
We can have a picture of Brienne like peeking through the blinds.
That would be funny.
Guys, that would be a great idea. Someone needs to invent that. Be careful though. That one lady on Etsy is going to steal our idea. What's her name?
No, it's gone now.
Thank God. Yeah, that lady on Etsy was taking all of our ideas and making them hers. And y'all were buying them like crazy. That woman was getting rich off of our ideas. I hate that. But we don't do all the copyright and the patent and all that kind of silly stuff. Y'all, we don't know what we're doing with all that. And that Etsy lady was taking our ideas and making them hers. And y'all were buying them. And we're like, stop buying from her. You're making her rich. That's like us going in the old days to music and pressing record when the top 40 come on. We're stealing music, Jamie.
Can I also point out, this is also to Lester Morrow Shorthorn Chesters.
All right, let's open the one
I
from
love
Ryan.
Ryan. Go ahead.
All right, so thank you, Cog Hill, for the scented candle. And if anyone is in the market for a scented candle, then you should visit Cog Hill Farm. I'm sure they have a store on their website or their YouTube. All right, now from Revival Coffee Company, what has Ryan been up to this week? And why does he say menopause makes me fragile?
Do you know that the actual name for the male version of that is andropause? There's really a thing that men really do go through something.
Well, we start off with
I like it.
Can you see my glasses laying around here anywhere?
Gosh. Have you seen my glasses? Where's the ketchup?
Okay, here we go. Dear Lester, I felt conviction straight from God and have to ask you for forgiveness. I sent Jamie, who's much cooler than you, a mug, but I didn't send you one. With this budding friendship we are developing, I knew I must right the wrong. Please accept this mug and stop using Jamie's and offer and accept my sincere apology. Yours truly, Ryan the Roaster. So Ryan did. He sent you a mug.
He did.
and that was a couple of weeks back.
It had you and your shake weights on them and your
It
pink
was
outfit.
me in the pink outfit he sent me with the shake weights. So Ryan, and I guess he could feel my hurt that I didn't receive anything. So Ryan has sent me something. Ryan packs his packing with the little, whatever you call those things, the peanuts.
Oh my
Jamie,
we're being punked right now.
we might be. I'm going to put all the peanuts in the Cog Hill box.
Oh, I'm really excited about this cup.
All right.
Why would I be excited? Because I can see pink through that.
Well, here we go. You're all seeing this in real time. This is a live video. What in the world? It is a pink sparkly cup. It's not only pink, but it is sparkling. It has a photograph of Jamie that's her profile picture on her page. And it says, I'm the cool one. So now Jamie actually has 2 cups.
No, it says the cool one. It doesn't say I'm the cool one. It says the cool one.
Yeah, which has your picture, which means that you're the cool one. So why in the world would I be drinking out of this cup? So now
it's very suiting. It fits you really well, to be honest. That is the neatest cup.
This is my menopause cup, Ryan says. When I'm having a rough day, this is my menopause cup because I'm so fragile. Thank you, Ryan.
The only thing that would make this better is if his face was in the bottom of it.
If someone could find a way to get my face at the bottom, so whenever I'm drinking and it gets down to a certain point, you can start seeing the eyes peeking up at you. That would be funny. You have to place it to where if you're right-handed and you drink this way, you would set it in there to where the eyes show first. So as you're drinking, you're going to start slowly seeing my forehead, and then you'll see my eyes. And then if you keep drinking, you're like watching like this, you'll see the entire face. If you're left-handed, it will have to be facing this way. You get how
People
that works?
knew this was coming. People who follow Ryan knew that this was coming.
Well, I'm so happy to have sent you to a really wonderful guy in Ryan.
I love Ryan. I can't wait to meet Ryan.
Jason and I both love Ryan. He's a really swell guy. He has wonderful.
Is he near Brooke and Jason?
They have to be in the same vicinity.
Because I would love a little road trip to go hang out with Brooke. Like, genuinely would love to hang out with Brooke. Mary
Hold on.
Carl.
Could we wait until the fall? It's too hot over there. Yeah, we're hot here. They're hot there too. Let's just. Whew. I don't want to get out in that heat, Jamie. No one wants to be out in that heat.
You do stay inside until October.
October sounds good. But Ryan,
we'll be home.
Ryan the Roaster, he has started a Facebook and YouTube channel. And so we encourage folks to spend time at happy places. And if you like the kind of page that offers you kind of a daily devotion, but not so much religiously led, but mostly just kind of spiritually, just kind of a man who's very similar to me in seeking, and always seeking truth. That's kind of how I perceive Ryan. But having a great time along the way, working his tail off, doing really neat and creative things. And so we will absolutely try to find a way to support Ryan and Jason and Brooke at Cog Hill as often as we can. They're wonderful people, and we absolutely encourage you, if you want good coffee or a good candle, then go visit those guys.
September 14th, Ryan and Cog Hill will be at Petals from the Past. Well, we might have to make a trip to Alabama.
Petals from the Past.
That's a big nursery, like a really big, beautiful nursery.
Could I sit in the car and play on my phone while you go in?
Yeah, you can.
You'll never come out.
I know. You can sit in the car all you want to.
Where is Petals from the Past? In Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a flower shop.
It's not a flower shop. It's a gardening center.
A garden center. So we're not going to be buying anything though, right? Because we're not going to transport flowers and plants back in my truck that far.
We would take my car, which has plenty of room for activities. You can bring your little backpack full of clothes, and I'll bring.
All I need is my fanny pack, and I'll be good.
And that'll be plenty of room for plants then. It'll be so much fun. What a great road trip. I can't wait. Yay, September.
Vanessa says you panicked when you heard the word nursery. Yes. Cold sweats. And I probably got the shakes too.
Oh my God.
I probably do have the shakes.
It isn't that bad. We haven't been to I have refrained from nurseries since all of the flooding happened. I have not purchased a single plant. I have planted a few seeds and started some okra, but I had to like really scale back because of everything that was going on. And I feel in my soul that it's calling, like it needs me.
Well, what needs you? We need things. We need rain right now.
We do need
So
some rain.
outside gardening, even the grass in our yard. I talked about this briefly in a video, but you know what? We had all this flooding in May. My goodness, it was flooding, guys. It was so flooding in May. Everyone remembers all the rain we were getting. So much rain that we were like, I don't want to say stop raining, but I kind of hope it would stop raining, you know, and it stopped raining. All right. And now it's like has gotten so dry
It's a little parched.
in just the month, almost 2 months now. It's been almost 2 months since we've had any significant rain. And so, man, you hate to like just kind of go back and forth. But now we have all of the work done on the spillway / dam. We got all the grass seed in the ground. Jamie's put her seed out. We did the hydro seeding, and then of course we had the sod. And now we need the rain. Now we're begging for the rain, and we just can't get more than just a drizzle here and there. So
Which
we're having
we're
to
still
water.
grateful for.
Yes,
Still grateful
very
for.
blessed. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Very blessed.
I will say JL and Plum Grove have had more rain than here.
Yeah, there's a weird dome that sits over the top of our part of Livingston here. And every time it rains everywhere else, we seem to get bypassed. It just goes right around us. So,
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
Susan
know.
says if you take the RV, Jamie, you could really load up on plants and trees.
Oh
This is
my
an
God.
excellent plan. We can take the truck.
Oh, I gotta
This
pull
just
that
got
RV.
better.
I got to pull that RV all the way to Alabama.
Yes.
No.
It's going to be so good. I can't wait.
So
What an excellent plan.
So this is crazy. I would pull the RV through Alabama because they have wonderful roads. The roads in Alabama are
Oh,
wonderful.
they're pristine.
However, I will not pull the RV through Louisiana. Nothing against you great and wonderful people from Louisiana, but I will not ever.
Interstate 10 is really rough.
I will never.
Through Louisiana.
I don't mind driving it, but I'm not pulling a trailer. You know, I can tell you why. You want me to give you a little science lesson right quick or not?
I think I know what you're going to say.
When you're driving through Louisiana, you're driving from east to west or west to east, right? That I-10 runs east to west, west to east. But every stream, every river, every creek runs north to south, all headed to the Gulf of Mexico. What that means is I-10, do me a favor and draw little lines across here. I-10 is full of bridges. There are bridges and bridges and bridges, overpasses, things that are going over waterways. And those waterways could be small like a creek. They could be wide like a river. But every time you hit that bridge, there's this boom, 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 boom. And I felt like pulling Jason and Brooks' RV. We're about to throw that thing off the truck.
Yeah,
we were
it
about
was
to,
rough.
I was driving 40 miles an hour, which is way slower than traffic. We were slowing everybody down. They're trying to fly around us. This I-10, people are flying like at 70, 75 miles per hour. We're driving 40, and I was terrified.
We weren't driving 40. We were driving about 55.
But it was a scary,
And it was
scary
very rough.
ride.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll never again pull an RV, any interstate going east and west, where I have to cross over so many, because the road itself was fine. It was every bridge that you would go over made this horrible boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
getting on, getting off. And I was like, So if there was a way to drive up towards the north and try to bypass some of that stuff,
There
possibly.
is. You can go up by Shreveport and cross over.
But if we ever plan any trips with the RV, I will absolutely look at the maps.
What do you mean if?
I will
When?
avoid at all costs anything that has to cross over a lot of creeks, rivers, bayous, and whatnot. Absolutely.
Looks like we're headed to Illinois then.
Well, friends, I think that we've kept you our hour and then some. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for putting up with Lester and his speech impairments. And you know what else? Getting back to how we started the video. The lisp, the thick tongue. There were so many comments on, we've always known he has a lisp, but it's never been so pronounced. It's never been so obvious. It's never been so, do I have a lisp?
A little bit.
a little bit of a lisp on certain consonants,
Mhm.
which consonants, and I'll never say them again.
Oh,
Tell
you
me,
can't-
tell me which words, and you know what I'm smart enough to do? I'm smart enough to avoid certain words. If there's certain words I cannot say, I won't say them. You can't think of one.
I can think of one, but I'm not gonna. You can't avoid them.
But
It's part of who you are, and it's part of. It's not like a. It's not like you're pronouncing that word wrong. It's just a little. It's just a little more defined. Is all. That's all.
well, I make no apologies. I just felt like a lot of the video from yesterday was wasted. A lot of my conversations about the cows, the bulls, the future of the JL was wasted because no one was commenting on my ideas, my future outlook. They were only commenting on whatever was going on
concerned.
with my speech. No, I don't think it was concern. I think it was a lot of humor. But it is what it is. Okay, now people are telling me which words I can and can't say. They want me to say your words, the ones you always tease me with. That's not the lisp. That's my pronunciation.
That's his Texas coming out.
That's Texas coming out. Anywho's, thank you all for watching. We're so blessed to have you. We have a busy day ahead of us. I'm going to go grab Lex and LE. We're going to go eat. We have to also go by Academy and get a few more things for his football camp. Everyone knows that Lex has been working with LE daily on football drills. We're trying to get him ready for the heat of football camp. And so you have to condition your kids early in the summer and get them conditioned to the heat and to being able to run and be able to do all the things they have to do so that he doesn't struggle when football starts. And then what are your plans for today?
Horses, goats, donkeys, lawn. I'm gonna do some tractor work. I have a lot going on today.
No one has ever seen you tractor work. They've seen Brooke tractor work. No one knows that you can tractor work as well. So
I get my tractor on today.
Jamie's going to be doing some bush hogging or brush hogging, depending on where you live. So we went and bought a component that our tractor needs to attach our bush hog. So you have to be careful with the you don't want to bend the shaft. You know that whole thing?
I'm aware of the shaft.
Yeah, people should be aware of the dangers of having a bent shaft. You don't want to bend the shaft. And if you're going around with a crooked shaft, as many tractor operators are, there is a way that you can avoid that. So I will have to teach you about the dangers of bending or making the shaft crooked. All right. You want to have a nice straight one. And someone says, "Oh boy, here we go again." That was funny.
That was quite the Texas
some
goodbye.
people don't get my humor, Jamie. They don't get my humor at all. Thank you, Vanessa, for the giggle. She can't even. But Jamie's not going to bend the shaft, I hope. All right. Thank y'all for watching. We're so blessed to have you. Don't forget that we will be coming back live tomorrow night, Sunday at 8:00 p.m. our time. And we hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Please stay, I almost said warm. Please stay cool.
Yes.
It's the heat wave right now that so many people are dealing with. And then, of course, there's other folks who are dealing with some flooding issues. And there's just a lot going on. Shark attacks. Fires. Rip currents. My goodness, I've never seen the news so full of doomsday type scenarios. But yeah, you guys be safe and try to find a way to enjoy yourself. It's absolutely stay out of the heat and just take precautions wherever you're at in whatever part of the country or the world that you're at and be safe. Finish it up, Jamie Cakes.
Y'all, we love you so much. We hope you have a great Saturday and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ryan and Coghill.
We love y'all.